Welcome back to West Ham United for our late show. We're late for one reason and one reason only.
I was updating the video. I wanted to put the PAI thing in, and I wanted to say, I don't want to fucking talk about a load of pile of shitty, boring, negative bollocks. I want to be cheery, and I want to talk about the cheerful stuff about West Ham, and I don't want to go on about the crap that surrounds our club every fucking pre-season. Good evening and welcome to the Late Show.
Stell's in a mood. Stell is in
I'm
a mood.
not in a mood.
Hold on a minute, though. Hold on a minute.
Not in a
Before
mood.
we start, I'm going to ask the fans to do something for us, right? I'm going to ask you to compare something. Stell, don't say anything. And if you like... If you like image number 1, I need you to put 1 in the chat. If you like image number 2, you put number 2 in the chat. Don't say anything, Stell. And here we go. I'm going to show you the images now. So if you like image number 1, put 1 in the chat. And if you like image number 2, put 2 in the chat. Oh. There you go. Nice and simple. Let's just let them decide. Let them decide. Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing. Let them decide.
There you go. 1. Oh, look. 1.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, look. 1. Oh, hang on a minute. 1. Oh, hang on. Is there anyone for 2? No.
2.
Daniela wants number 12. I don't know about that.
2.
Oh, no.
Two.
What?
Two.
Self-promoting.
Two.
Self-promoting. 1.
2.
1. 1. 1. 1.
Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
1.
2.
1. 1. 1. 1. 1. Mate, give up. Give up.
I'm putting the same amount of numbers in you. Look.
Stop being desperate. Stop being I know you like the popularity. Look, number 1 is the bollocks. Stop it, Anton. You're embarrassing yourself.
2.
Liam, 1.
2.
Alex,
2.
1.
Oh,
Mate.
look at this one. Look at this one. 2. Steve Irons has gone for 3.
Daniel's got a stutter. Steve, you're better off, mate. 12 is both. 12 is both.
Listen,
number 1 rocks my world. Look, mate, honestly, you've really got to look. Mandy, I love you. I haven't met you, but I love you already. I mean, mate, you've really got to give up. You've got to stop this. You've got to stop this competition.
It's not competition here because it's split.
You really have.
Split.
Honestly, mate, it's embarrassing. Every time you try and put me down,
2.
people feel sorry for
2.
you.
I love them both. 2. Just listen. Anyway, listen. It's a draw. It's a Desmond, but I'll take the win because I take the win because I talent spotted Stell and brought him on. Anyway, listen. Instead of Stell being on the show tonight, we're going to welcome our next guest, Matt. How you doing, mate? You okay?
I'm good, mate. Yeah.
Oh, hold on a minute. I'll get rid of your one. I'll put your one back on. There you go. Ooh.
Mate, you know. Yeah, but anyway, yeah. So sorry about my rant intro, but I want us to be positive, and it's so good that we actually had the player awards finally. God knows why it's taken them so long, but hey, you know, better late than never, I guess. And that's a positive. And there are other positives. We've got players coming in, haven't we? We know we have.
Hopefully.
No, you know,
right.
We have. So. Well, and I hope it keeps all the PAI bollocks out of the way. Keeps them quiet.
Matt does his digging. So Matt, go for it. What have you heard, Matt?
So take my lozenge out. Reports in Italy
tonight. Have a lozenge right in the middle of a show.
Mate, I've got tonsillitis. I'd be coughing away otherwise.
You will
honestly,
again,
Matt. I think
I've got tonsillitis.
Yeah. Oh dear.
Back end of it's hopefully it's gone soon. Reports in Italy tonight are saying that Milenkovic has agreed to join the club and a medical is booked. I'm going to assume it's next week. I don't know if they do it this weekend. I doubt
Fiorentina have already signed his replacement, the player that I can't remember his name, who used to play for. Yeah, who used to play for Fiorentina, and he's coming back. He's another Serbian, isn't he? Or is he
something around there? Yeah.
Well, Eastern European, they're all the same, aren't they?
Fucking hell, Still, what are you talking about? They're all the same. You can't say that.
I think he is. I think he is Serbian. I think he is.
He's what? Sorry.
I think he is Serbian.
Yeah,
he was the one that played at Man City. He spent the last couple of years in Schalke, and he's in the same position that Milenkovic is in. That he's in the last year of his contract.
Yeah,
they brought him in, but then there's also reports tonight that and I can't pronounce the guy's name. I don't have to say it. The centre back at Marseille that we've had.
Kaletakar.
Is it Saleta Sar or something?
Yeah, Kaleta Sar. Yeah.
Still, who won the Hammer of the Year tonight? Pronounce his name for me.
Soucek.
Nope.
Soucek.
Nope.
Soucek.
He said it himself. He came on and he told everyone on the YouTube,
really?
and so did Soufal.
And it's Soufal.
Soucek and
Soufal.
Soufal. I can't even say it now. It's going to take a while. Anyway, Kaletakar.
Kaleta Sar.
So what's it? We've offered
Collect
17
a car from Avis Rentals.
Apparently, we've offered 17 million euro for him.
For who?
Yeah. You can say his name. They want 20. This come out tonight from El Queen.
It's the wrong one.
Well, do you know, mate? It's quite interesting because at one point I didn't think we were going to get either Milenkovic or Kaletakar because they were both linked to us when Pellegrini was here. So you know, sometimes when you hear a story going on for so long, I think they're both about a year old, and you know, you kind of end up thinking it never going to happen. But I heard what you said this morning, Anton. You know that you would put Kaletakar as your fourth choice behind Zuma and
no, not Zuma. Tomiyasu.
Tomiyasu. Well, you know, stories out Tomiyasu today. Stories out Arsenal and West Ham are chasing Tottenham linked Tomiyasu. But I don't think that will happen because he's more of a right back, isn't he, than anything?
Yeah. No, he is a centre half. He's a bit like Milenkovic in terms of Milenkovic can play right back as well, right. But he's a full blown centre half. Like these players that we're linked to are centre halves. But I suppose the question is the sources that these are coming from. Again, you know, without trying to bore people, I do believe we are close to Milenkovic. I think that's pretty much hopefully going to be something. But the Kaletakar one is interesting because it's coming from a really decent, really decent source. Now,
would we go for both?
That's what I was just about to say. Are we going to try and go for both? Because if that's going for both in an area that we know we need to strengthen, but still haven't got the area that everyone's desperate for, that would be a statement of intent.
Does that mean
surely?
Does that mean Diop's on his way out?
Well, I don't know because I done the show today, and just correct me if I'm wrong. Ogbona's back training, but I don't think he's going to be risked for the game tomorrow.
No, I think that's already been said. You know, they're going to.
So you've got Diop and Dawson. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yeah, and there's just kids.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah.
So if you go for Milenkovic and Kaletakar, you've got an aging, not so fit Ogbonna that maybe this could be the season where he's going to start drifting out.
Do you remember
a bit like Noble? A bit like Noble.
Well, do you remember what we said about Areola, where we knew it was the right thing to do, but we thought it wouldn't happen until the end of this coming season?
But building for the future.
Building for the future. Why not? Why not build for the future with the centre backs? By the way, Vina, I'm sure. I don't know if you're kidding, mate, but he has signed for that.
Al Hilal.
Al Hilal.
Yeah. And all on you know what, one thing I think we ought to start doing, and I'm going to promise to do this in the next transfer window, is make a distinction between the club making an inquiry about a player and the club actually in for a transfer of a player, because they're quite different things. So I think with Pereira, we expressed an interest in Pereira, but that's about as far as it went. But it didn't go any further than that.
Well, you know, when you say expressed an interest, I mean, the thing is, it could be the fact that he was on a list that someone's got their hands on and said it. Now, if we've inquired, inquired means we've opened up negotiations with the club. The club only really announced that they...
No.
I think they literally said,
open negotiations.
Is he available and how much is he available for?
Yeah.
Right.
That's as far as it went.
So it's about, you're right. And it's about differentiating the two of them.
Yeah,
because
so really
people can...
Because that's technically, you've had a talk, but you're not in talks. In talks is...
being allowed by the club.
Is there a deal to be done? And the other club says yes. And then you sit down at the table and try and work out what sort of deal, what fee, what structure.
And I think what we owe to people from now on is to make that distinction, and I'm going to try and do it. I'm going to, I think when I do the transfer part of shows, etc., I think I might just put in, these are players.
Like you said, I think he was on a list.
Yeah,
I think Lingard was probably number one on the list.
Yeah,
looks like he was number two.
Probably is still number one on the list.
Probably still number one. Yeah,
played a long game on it. The thing with it though is that he's gone to Saudi Arabia for the money.
Yeah,
I did see people getting angry yesterday because I think a West Bromwich case said he's gone to Saudi Arabia and he's on 77,000 a week, and everyone was like but he said he was getting life-changing money, and 77 grand a week isn't a lot. We could have paid him more. However, they don't pay tax in Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm.
So the 77,000 a week he's getting is 77,000 a week.
We also, I had this chat with a friend of mine who's a former professional footballer and played abroad. He made a really valid point about we underestimate players and the weather. We underestimate the weather in some players' careers. Absolutely, 100%. So, I see people on social media going, it's a terrible, terrible career move from Pereira, but Pereira owes nothing to the Premier League. He's born and bred in Brazil. The Champions League's not even really big to the South Americans because they've got their own version.
Wasn't he raised in Portugal?
Or was he raised in Portugal?
I think he was.
The thing is for him, it was like, if he had that statement,
he
literally said it was about money. He literally said it.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. So he owes nothing to the European League. And what I was saying still was we underestimate, living here, that the weather plays a factor in it as well. Cheers, Phil.
Some people don't like the weather. We've seen that before with players.
Yeah, well, of course so. And if he's offered the money, what is the pool? Like we think Europa League's the top dog, but it's not the pool to some of these players.
We've had bigger and better. Go on.
77 grand a week here is 139 grand a week. He'd have to get in the Premier League to get the same money.
Yeah.
No one's going to pay. He's not worth that much money. No one's.
And we've had bigger and better players. Well, I dispute better. We've had players like Arnautovic who have gone for the money. We've had a lot of players.
But Pereira was honest about it. He'd done that big open statement. He said, I want to make sure that West Brom.
That's why you can't fault him for it. You can't fault him for it.
He literally said, I'm going there because they've offered me a life-changing sum of money.
Exactly.
He didn't say, I want to go there to win trophies and win the South Asian Champions League.
Exactly.
Like Arnautovic did.
Yeah.
He just said, I'm going for the money. So, you know what?
And drinking fizzy drinks while I'm doing it all the time.
You know what? Anyone in any job would do the same thing, but he just was honest about it.
We never kind of finished on...
Anton and I are going. Unfortunately, you can't miss Anton. He hits the roof of the...
And you'll probably not find Stell because he's so small he'll be missing.
Stell will be so drunk he won't make it up the 25 flights.
Well, I meant to say I've actually booked a hotel now, and it's confirmed I am bringing the little man. Freddie's coming.
Oh, nice one. Yeah. Well, I'm going to be staying over in your hotel room then.
Well, I'm not. I've actually got the missus and the other little one with us as well. So
yeah, but have you told your missus that I'm staying there as well?
Anyway, let's get back to the defence. Realistically, do we think there is an outside chance we could bring both of these players in?
I'd sit on the fence and say possibly yes.
I would like to think we're thinking that far ahead, but I'm thinking probably not.
I was going to say, surely when Moyes sat down at the start of the season, or sorry, should say the start of the transfer window, he probably went, I want a goalkeeper, a centre-back, a holding midfielder, an attacking midfielder, and a striker, right? You needed someone to replace Lingard, someone else, so you've got an option outside of Rice and Soucek, defender, a goalkeeper, and a striker. I don't think you're going to get a holding midfielder in now.
No, I don't think that. I don't think that.
I
Was
think
on the
with
cards,
Lanzini and Coventry, I don't think you're going to get one in.
Yeah, because he's changed his mind apparently about Coventry now, hasn't he? Apparently, Coventry's now staying.
So you brought a goalkeeper in, which you paid a £1 million loan for, and I reckon you could probably get in maybe 4 more players, maybe, and that'd be a striker, a centre attacking mid, and maybe the 2 defenders.
Do you think this point here from Fo? I think Kaleta is a backup plan, Milenkovic first choice, and it sounds more realistic. However, it might there could be that chance. A bit like Areola. The Areola deal came to West Ham. We snapped it up because it's thinking of the future, and it was a good deal for West Ham. You just never know if the deal's there to be had, and if Moyes thinks, well, do you know what, I can bring the both of them in on the budget and still get my potential number 1 target, then. You never know. Well, Glenn, mate, thank you so much. You didn't need to do that. Very kind of you.
Mate, really kind. That is very generous. Thank you, Glenn.
It's really kind of you, especially the fact that Stell doesn't put his hand in his pocket. So we'll definitely enjoy that. No, I really do appreciate it, though.
Really Glenn, I'll send you my bank account details, mate. You can send it directly to me so I can buy that Scottish git a drink so he can shut the fuck up about moaning about.
I have to record it. That'd be a legendary moment.
Oh, don't you start, Matt. I mean, seriously, you're a fucking guest on this show, so piss off.
Actually, hold on a second. I control this show, so Stell, get lost.
You don't control anything, mate. You're a fucking puppet on a string.
I'm a talent spotter. It's fine.
Have you heard the latest, Matt? He reckons he talent spotted me. I mean, I don't know what talent he saw,
to be honest.
Exactly.
Don't ever fucking bring him on this show again.
Oh man, honestly.
Right. Anyway, so what are we talking about? Leave him on. Stop taking him off.
So Kaleta and Milenkovic. It's an area we need to improve, and if you bring those 2 players in, and you've got Diop and you've got Dawson, you've got the 4 centre halves that he wants.
Have a little look at Kaleta.
Yeah, okay. Show the video that you've shown 40,000 times already on the channel.
I've got to tell you all a little story. When I first started,
to actually chuck you out of this thing.
I used to say to Anton, we need to put images up, and he used to go, no, we're going to get kicked off YouTube. And then I went, fuck you, I'm going to put images up. Then I said, we need to put music up. And he went, no, we're going to get kicked off YouTube. And I said, oh, fuck you, we're going to put
to be fair, that one was close. I mean, how many times do you get copyrighted?
No, it won't. It won't get copyrighted. It won't, because it's all free. Everything's free. And now Anton just copies everything I do. Everything I do. I mean, it's an honor, to be copied, I guess. I take it as a compliment. So well done, Anton.
Well, listen, at the end of the day, the other day, I've got a text message to prove it. You called me your master and you're the Padawan. That's what you actually said.
Yeah,
you actually said
right.
It. Yeah, and what they actually
say
about that is the Padawan eventually takes over, but the master trains.
Yeah.
And you're like my apprentice, and it's fine.
I know, mate. Yeah,
but you're not.
I've
said to you many a times, you're fired, but not today. You're staying on because I need to use you.
Otherwise, this channel would collapse if I was fired. There you go. So you know it. Chris Harris. We've just got to get Fiorentina to accept 5 bags of Haribo and 2 million over 15 years.
Yeah.
He's coming, Chris. So start collecting those bags of Haribo, mate. Anyway, where are we? What are we talking about?
Defenders.
Where are we? What are we talking about?
Let's close off the defenders. The answer, I'm going to ask everyone in the question. Couple of questions. Do you think we'll bring in Milenkovic, and what do you think? And how much would you be willing to pay? Do you think we'll bring in Kaleta Carr? If so, what do you think we'd pay? And then would it be a good signing? Or do you think we'll bring in both? And if we bring in both, is that a statement of intent? And would you be really happy with that?
Go on, Matt.
I think Milenkovic will be the first choice. I think Kaleta Carr probably is the second choice. It'd be great if they bought in both, but I think, like Stel said, if they bought in both, I'd be saying, is Diop going somewhere? Because he always seems to float around in the markets. Nicola Shimra has said apparently we've offered Milenkovic 50 grand a week for 5 years.
Well, that's double what he's earning. Alan's, by the way, I'm only kidding, mate. So please don't take me. I don't want to get in trouble with my Eastern European friends, especially when I go on holiday to some of those countries. 50 grand.
I mean, it's a good deal. I mean, 50 grand a week for a player that's we I don't know if you've seen. We've done the preview earlier on. We had Nick from Atalanta Pasiano or something like that. I think it was called podcast. He had a little. It was interesting because he was being honest. He was being brutally honest. He said the only time he said Milenkovic did stand out for Fiorentina when Atalanta played them. He said, but Fiorentina are Atalanta's whipping boys. Literally, he basically admitted that. Yeah, he said my memories of playing Fiorentina is we score a lot of goals against them. So Atalanta are very well known. Are actually third in Europe over the last 3 seasons for scoring the most goals.
267 goals.
Yeah, in the last.
Looking forward to tomorrow now, aren't I?
I don't know if you knew that, but they're only behind
90 goals last season.
Wow.
They're behind PSG and Man City.
Yeah.
And he said what. So they've qualified straight for the group stages of the Champions League. They've got these 2 Colombian forwards who are just absolutely phenomenal. But the manager just commits the forwards. And me and Matt were kind of sitting there talking and saying to him, like, there's times as West Ham fans we just go for it, Moyes, go for it. And he said he admitted that by going for it, you do lose goals. I think he said they conceded 48 or 49 goals this season.
Well, that's not bad if you've scored more than double.
Yeah, they always outscore their.
The thing that I forgot to ask him, actually, to be fair, was that he's talking about Muria, who's been around for a long time, and someone we were linked with before, Zapata.
So right? Yeah, Zapata has been linked with quite a lot of players, quite a lot of teams.
The rumor is at the moment that he could be off to Juventus. Not Juventus, right. Sorry, Inter.
Inter because of Lukaku leaving.
Down to Chelsea, yeah.
But Atalanta, the setup that they've got, I mean, the stadium's only 21,000 whatever, but they're ranked in the top 10 of youth academies in the world. They also know how to look after and they also know how to recognize when a player wants to leave and sell on for a massive profit. So they then reinvest that money into the next, and it doesn't.
Approach.
Yeah, and it doesn't affect them when they lose their big players.
Because they got a ready-made.
That's what he was saying, because they've got ready-made players there ready to rock and roll. So it's quite a good, interesting insight. But it was just the fact he talked about Milenkovic, and he said, "My memory of Fiorentina is we score goals." So yeah, but
Chris, is Diop on way out? That said, when we play 3 at the back and Chris plays left back, left centre back, Milenkovic, Kaleta Carr, both. I mean, Chris is looking at.
Centre back pairing right there.
Yeah. I mean,
one left on, one on the right.
I tell you what, I'd be very, very, very excited if we got 2 young, up and coming.
If we sign both of them.
Can I just be honest with you though? Can I just be honest with you though? I just want to say something. If we did sign those 2, Diop's not going anywhere. I don't know how many times. No, but I don't know how many times Moyes has said it. I don't know how many times it's been wiped under the carpet. Diop is not going anywhere. I think Diop will be here for the season because the Moyes will always want to work with 4 solid centre halves. He doesn't have 4 solid centre halves.
If we brought in both of them, we'd have 5.
But we've got an aging and injury prone.
We've got Dawson
and well, yeah, that's the point. They're both 34, 33.
Ogbonna's 34, and it's the last year of his contract.
Yep.
So again, like with bringing Areola in a year early because of Randolph and Fabianski both out of contract, has he done the same with that?
You got such a kind face, Matt. Let's have a look at it.
Say that again, Matt.
Pressure, yeah.
Look at that, such a kind face. If only you knew, Mandy. If only you knew. Reese, there was talk about Man United wanting Diop for 50 million. No, there was talk about Mourinho wanting Diop.
And he wanted 50 million, wasn't it? Wasn't it something stupid at the time, like 25 million with Phil Jones? It wasn't even like 50 million, was it?
25 million and Phil Jones.
It might be 30, but yeah, it's like...
I mean, we would have got... I mean, honestly...
Don't forget, that's quite well. That must have been back 2 years ago now.
Dalek, mate, you're so right. He does have a grumpy face. I mean... Look at his face. I mean, listen. Oh, sorry. I'm going to go back on topic in a second. But still, you're out for dinner with your missus. Why did you log on?
Because she went to the loo and I...
No, she didn't. Because you showed us her. She was sitting at the table.
She came back.
Do you know everyone in the chat was like, they actually were like, get lost.
What did he do?
No. The reason why I wanted to come on was because I wanted to speak Italian to the American. He was an American, yeah, and I went, oh, fuck him. That was pointless.
You know what? In fairness, we said this. I texted him earlier. It's me doing a preview tonight, and I was like, I'm guessing you haven't got a guest though, because it's Italian team. He's like, oh no, yeah, I got an American. I was like, what?
Yeah, yeah. He went for Atlanta rather than Atalanta.
Right. Hold on a second. Hold on. There's someone in the chat here, right? So, recently names have been touted around and stuff like that. So Daya, who I've been on with Jake's channel, has been kind of saying a lot of stuff recently, and he had Tom Skinner on and stuff like that. But his best pal is in the chat right now. Football with Brownie. And I think, Brownie, I think it's Brownie. I think that's, I can't remember exactly your name, but from my understanding, there's some connection that you and Daya have to the footballing world, agents, etc., etc. So I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm not meaning this in a horrible way, Brownie, as well. I don't know how legit it is, all that sort of stuff. So, but I take it when you're putting that comment in there, you're kind of, nodding on something, nudging on something. I'll be intrigued to know what you're talking about.
He's a Cardiff fan, and Kiefer Moore's one of their players, so that's all he means by it.
Yeah, surely.
Well, I'm just listening. I'm not trying to
putting 2 and 2 together and coming up with 5.
Yeah, that's a fan base in general, isn't it?
Yeah, that is a fan base, to be fair. Right, so that's true. Yeah. Centre halves we've discussed. I mean, other news today. Should we do the award ceremony?
Well, guess so.
Well, no, then.
Well, yeah, let's do it.
Guess so.
You spent 3 hours creating images that no one.
I didn't really. It actually took me 2 seconds anyway. Right, okay. So what one should we go with first? Let's go for the most obvious award of the night. Top goal scorer awards goes to, drum roll please, someone, anyone? Nah.
Soucek and Antonio.
Antonio, yep.
Antonio stole it, didn't he? Antonio took the reward.
Yeah, he came on the award. Yep, absolutely. Then we went on to... I'm going to do it in a different order, so I'm going to go for goal of the season. I think this was going to be an absolute no-brainer at all. Lanzini against Tottenham. I mean, what a fantastic...
They leaked this about 2 weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. I mean, it was blatantly obvious, mate, anyway, to be honest, wasn't it? Performance of the season, though, that went to the West Ham Leicester game. That was probably, I think a lot of people probably voted for that because it was maybe the
game of the season.
It was the turnaround game, wasn't it?
Yeah.
No. We had the Wolves game before.
Was the Wolves game before that?
The Wolves game was before that, which was our home win, and then this came after.
Yeah.
But I mean,
but Wolves were in bad form at the time. Leicester were like second in the league.
Yeah, actually,
won every game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we beat Wolves 4-1,
4-0.
didn't we?
4-1, 4-0, something like that.
Yep.
Even that great striker that we got rid of for half the money that we bought him for scored a goal in that game.
Well, you know what? They're not even happy with him in Holland, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah,
but he's scoring goals. That's the thing. I've spoken about this recently. He scored a lot of goals for Ajax.
He did.
They don't like his all-round play. They don't like it. But they won the league and he scored.
The back half of last season, I think he scored and assisted 16 or 18 goals, right? But
so what's wrong with him? It's because he doesn't smile.
Ajax fans were saying that it was like, I think he scored 10, assisted 6, right? And you're thinking, well, that sounds half season, that sounds great. Well, Ajax fans said, yeah, but we win 5-0 every week. So if we win 5-0 every week and he's only scored 10 goals, like they said before they brought him in for 20 whatever million we sold him for, they had a centre attacking mid playing up front as an auxiliary centre forward, and he scored and assisted the same amount of goals.
Yeah.
So if you're supposed to be a world class striker, you should be getting, Dusan Tadic, who used to be a winger at Southampton, I think outscored Haller.
Well, listen, mate, I think it's harsh. I think he's done all right, and yeah, fair play to him. But
I still maintain if we kept him, we'd be playing Champions League football this season.
I don't know.
I really do. I really genuinely do believe
mate,
that.
But you say it. It's like playing your videos left, right, and centre. You repeat yourself 40,000 times.
And people love me for it because they know I'm talking sense. If Haller had stayed at West Ham United, we would have been playing Champions League football this coming season. One win away.
I'll tell you what.
League football.
Let's move on to the next award, the Players Project Award. I think it's a new award that I'd never heard of before for all the work you've been putting into the community. I don't know if it was maybe it's a nice award. It's a good award, but maybe it was an opportunity to give the man himself, Mark Noble, the award. Everything he's done for all the
before
kind of
you
local...
do that, Pat, I'm going to send you an email tomorrow, mate.
Yeah, Pat,
we've the one that you've sent us. Okay.
Yeah. I need to reply to that. Yeah, we'll both do it. Yeah,
we'll
both
do it.
Pat.
Yeah.
So Players Project Award went to Mr. Mark Noble, of course. But listen,
what is
the Mark
Players
Noble
Project Award? What did he?
I've just said it, but anyway,
I'll repeat myself again. He's work done with the local community.
Well, young offenders work in the community. So what does that mean?
Oh, exactly. Still, come on. Everything he's given back to the club. Everything he's given back to the local community. Anyway, I'm moving on because look at this. After the news with Messi, he's the longest serving one-man club in the top 5 European divisions. 16 years, 461
Messi hasn't left yet.
He has, mate. He's gone.
He has, mate. He's gone.
You never know. Another £2 million a week, and he might change his mind.
They can't though. That's the problem.
No, but
it's the fair play.
Cut, didn't he?
They have to take a pay cut to pay him. He has to take a dramatic pay cut.
He did.
No, but even more. They can't afford it at all.
Apparently, he offered more, and they didn't talk to him. They were like, no.
Yeah. So he got the Players Project Award. Next up was Save of the Season. That was a fantastic save from Fabianski in the FA Cup game that we got beaten, which was a little bit annoying, but it was a good save, of course. I'm going to get into the nitty-gritty of some decent awards now. So we had the Players Player of the Season and Fans Player of the Season in the women's team. Grace Fisk and Jill Flaherty got those awards. Then we will move into the Dylan Tombides Award, and that came up, and the winner of that was Jaden Fevrier.
Good.
What do we think of him?
He's just been given an extended contract, he's not a bad player. He's like an attacking right midfielder, isn't he? I don't think he's a striker. I think he's
so they're saying he was 15 years old when he joined and made his debut in the youth team in the under-18 Premier League fixtures. He's played for England under-16 international. However, what was interesting tonight in the YouTube show was he's been looked at by England and France. I think his mother is French. And they asked him, what's your favoured country? And he said France. They asked him why. They asked him why, and his reasoning was he was a nice young lad and he spoke really well. And he said the connection to my mum and my uncle who passed away last year. Fair play to him for that as well. And they got more chance of winning something than we have. So
absolutely.
Then the Young Hammer of the Year. I know you probably know about it. Ben Johnson.
Brilliant. Well done.
Yeah,
deservedly so. He got stick last season, and I couldn't understand why. You know, throughout the season, he was getting stick for playing out of position. You know, oh, he's not that good at left back. Well, yeah, because he's bloody right-footed, and he should be a right back.
Not left back, yeah.
Not a left back, but he
playing
did
out of position.
really well.
Yeah.
Well, fair play to him. Fair play.
Yep, absolutely. Good shout it was. Yep. Signing of the season was that man himself, Vladimir Soucek. What do you think of that?
Put that up. Backlav, good evening, mate. So proud of my fellow Czech boys. Soucek and Soucek, congrats and thank you for a fantastic 2021-22 season. And you know what? They're going to be even better when we win the Europa League this coming season.
Yep, absolutely. Signing of the season, though, Vladimir Soucek. What do you think of that one? He was fantastic, though, wasn't he?
No brainer. £5 million.
Yep.
You know,
do you think that played a big part in why he was it as well? I know he was fantastic.
Well,
I know he performed well, but do you think the
it's only really out of three. Well, I suppose you could count Soucek in it, but he technically signed the January before. So really, you only had Soucek, Benrahma, or Lingard as players you could actually look at. I suppose.
I don't mean this in a bad way. I'm glad Lingard hasn't got any awards. I think it would.
I'm going to come on to Lingard in a minute though, because I watched stop-starting bits of the show and he was mentioned a lot. So I'll come on to that in a minute. It then comes to, well, before we move on, we're only at 58 likes, people.
That's terrible.
There's over 150 people watching live. It's midnight. And yeah, we need you to up those likes. So if you are watching, Matt, do you want to push
that like button?
Go on, Matt.
Hit the like button.
Yeah.
What we on? We're on 150 people watching at the moment.
Yeah.
So what? You want 100?
Yeah, why not?
120, I'd say. 161 people.
I was going to build it. You got to build it.
Right.
Yeah. So we start with 100 and
we'll see how it goes.
If you are watching and you're new around here, make sure you have subscribed to the channel. But also, while you're watching, please hit the thumbs up, because the thumbs up pushes us into the algorithm, lets people know that we're here and we're a West Ham channel, etc., etc. So push it on and click that button for me, please. But then we move on to Hammer of the Year, the big one for the night. And I was in the chat when it was happening, and I genuinely thought it would have been. I thought it would have been Declan Rice, and I was quite surprised it wasn't actually.
I'm not surprised.
Hammer of the Year was Tommy Soucek. I'm glad as well. Yeah.
Deserved it. Absolutely deserved it. I don't mean it in a bad way for Declan, but I'm quite glad. I don't think Declan should have won it last season. I think Bonner should have won it last season. And I'm actually quite glad that Soucek won it for the season just gone. Absolutely deserved. Top player.
Really.
And I have said it, and I know people aren't going to find this a popular comment, but I'd have been more worried about losing Soucek than losing Declan in this transfer window. I don't mean that in a bad way about Declan, but Soucek is he's a machine. He's brilliant.
I think the thing is though, see, to be honest with you, between the two players, there's nothing in it, really. I mean, what both of them gave to West Ham this season is just phenomenal. They are.
But Soucek gave us how many goals this season?
But
10 goals.
Would he? But yeah,
for a defensive midfielder.
But would he have been able to without the man himself? It keeps going in roundabouts. It doesn't matter. The two of them are equal.
Admittedly, Soucek had to do a lot more defensive play when Declan was injured. Yeah. Admittedly,
and that knocked on and that showed you how much we missed Deckers. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good that Soucek won it, and they both spoke. Soucek and Soucek spoke really well about the club. Someone put up in the comments earlier on, though, and I'm going to move on to this, was when Creswell came on to collect the performance. I think it was the performance of the season. He spoke a lot about Lingard. And they actually done a few segments on Lingard as well, and they were talking about something. Now, I missed all of his statement, but I wanted to pick up on something. I don't know if it's gone now, but he mentioned something about as if like we'd love him here or something like that. I don't know, but the club are pushing it. The YouTube channel was pushing it. Creswell was talking about it. Carlton Cole was talking about it. It just all added up to making me think that Lingard is the one. I think we all know he's the one. It's just whether or not Man United are going to give him some game time. And I think we all know now that he's going to start the season at Manchester United, and it's just going to be up until the 1st of September is when we know if we're going to bring Lingard in or not.
I think, as we said the other day, Anton, I think that's a dangerous game that Moyes is playing. If that is the case, if he's really waiting to the last moment to bring Lingard in, I think that's quite a dangerous game to play.
Although, do you think there's an element of what Moyes is doing? If someone better comes up, I mean, we've got to believe what he says.
He would have known if there was someone better already, mate.
But if there is, but maybe there isn't someone better in Moyes' opinion. Do you know what I mean?
Because he's made it clear that Lingard was his number one. He basically, I mean, without saying it directly, he said, "I need three positions. I need a centre back, I need Lingard, and I need a striker." He might as well have just said that rather than saying, "I need a centre back, attacking midfielder, etc." He said he would. What was that? He'd love to have Lingard back, and yeah, exactly. That's exactly what he said. So we know that's who he wants. But hang on a minute. I'm quite intrigued. So let's not muck around, guys. Is it Kiefer Moore, or is that just a wind up?
I can't see anything anywhere. I've been looking.
No, and that's the thing though. Moyes has kept it so wrapped up that you wouldn't see anything anywhere. So someone said earlier, and we got a message in our chat, didn't we, in our WhatsApp, Anton, that Dyer had made a comment about a player coming in to have a medical, a striker coming in
on
for a
Tuesday or Wednesday.
I
did see something about that earlier, but there was no name.
So it came from Dyer.
Yeah. So, but has that name come out, or is this just a wind up? So it'd be interesting because I don't know Dyer. I know you've met him, Anton, but anyway.
I've not met him physically in person. He was on Jake's show, and I think he's really good friends with Jake. And he's a good. I'll be honest with you, he's a great laugh. He enjoys a beer when he's on his show, and him and Jake have a good laugh and all that sort of stuff. But he said, I listened to something the other day, and he was talking about being involved with Adrian coming to the club.
Yeah, I heard that.
He said he was involved in the takeover from Cardiff, as well. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, has there been a new ITK unearthed from somewhere? Who knows? We'll wait and see. So yeah, that was Ham of the Year, and then another award was given out today. Adriana Leon from the Canada national team won a gold medal today from the West Ham women's team. So congratulations to her. Another Olympic medal coming home to West Ham. Anyone got any thoughts on that?
I mean, I saw the game. I saw the semi-final. They played against America, the US Women's Soccer Federation, and in fairness, they got absolutely battered that game. I don't know how they won, but they're not an all-out guns blazing attacking team. They're very much a David Moyes style, that sit back and absorb all the pressure and hit them on the counter-attack.
Yeah,
I believe they won 3. I don't know if there was any goals during the game. They won 3-2 on penalties.
Yeah, I seen it went to penalties. Yeah,
and Daniela, are you watching? We're talking about women's football. You have asked, so there you go.
And we've actually done a lot. We've done Jill Flaherty, we've done Fisk, and now we've gone to Adriana Leon. So yeah, absolutely.
We'll maintain that. We'll maintain that.
We will, because there's going to be some big, nice new announcements next week. So anyway, we won't keep harping on about that. We'll see what's going on. Listen, before we move on, there's more news anyway, but still, I'll give you this one. I'll put this one on a plate for you, mate. There you go.
If anyone is interested, there's a young, I don't know, I'm sure a lot of West Ham fans know him, John Joe Herman, is that his surname?
Yeah.
Is that how you pronounce it? He does a lot of charity work for cancer, cancer
and
research.
The Bobby Moore Fund, yeah.
And there's an event coming up on the 4th of September, 7 till 1 at, well, you can see it there, Soucek Hotel, which is in Grays, Essex. All right, sounds like a lot, £50 a person, but I tell you what, it's a good night. I've been to one of his events on a boat just before lockdown, about 2 years ago now, and it is good fun and it's good banter. Obviously, it's full of West Ham fans, but you do get other fans there as well, and it can be quite a good night. So if anyone's feeling, a little bit generous, £50 a person, or you can get a table for £500. I don't know how many people fit on the table. There you go. Minimum,
10 guests.
maximum 10 guests. There you go. 50. So yeah, it's good fun. It's good fun, and it's for an absolutely fantastic cause. And if you can make it, if you fancy booking a table, or just coming along with your better half, then do so.
It does look a good night. Drinks reception, 3-course meal. You get fun casino, music, auction, raffle. If you're looking for a little bit of normality, then there's your little bit of normality as well. So
it's a good laugh. And guess what we sing at the end of the night?
Sweet Caroline.
Exactly.
Where are we going to now?
Well, you decide. I'll just answer a few questions. Coletta Carr is a Marseille central defender. We have been linked to him before, and and he's I'll tell you how you'll remember him. He's the one that outmarked Kane in the Croatia-England game in the Euros. Kept him quiet. Kept him in his pocket.
Kiefer Moore was the 4th highest scorer in the championship last season.
Right. Well, that's interesting, because I've been banging on about Armstrong, who was the 2nd highest goal scorer last season. I thought we might go for him.
I think he's off to Southampton, isn't he? Or Palace?
Crystal Palace, yeah.
Palace, okay.
I think Southampton's trying to dive in as well now that they've sold Danny Ings. But so Tony scored 33 goals.
Take that back.
So I think Southampton are diving in now for Armstrong as well after they sold Danny Ings.
We're not getting Wood. That is definitely a no-no. So therefore, that's not happening.
So Tony scored 33 goals. Armstrong scored 28 goals. Pookie scored 26 goals. And then Moore scored 20.
Right. Why would we not go for Armstrong?
He's available, but I just don't think the club. I think again, they want big money for him.
They wanted up to 20 million for him, but they would have taken.
Because they lose 25-30%, something as high as that.
Because they got
for Newcastle.
That's right. Yeah.
So they want north of. They wanted north of like 15-16 million, so they could reinvest and buy someone themselves. So I mean, he's got a goal. He's scored 20 goals, got 1 assist in 42 games last season. Kiefer Moore.
Well, we'll see. I mean, I don't doubt for a second we're after someone in the forward position. It's just whether or not it's going to be someone from the Championship or someone who currently plays in the Czech League, who we've discussed plenty of times still. Sima.
I don't know who you mean, mate.
Do you think? I mean, he's been linked for a long time. Vaclav, you know a lot about Sima, so I'm going to ask you, Vaclav, in the chat. Let us know your thoughts on Sima. Let us know what the rumblings is over in the Czech Republic about him. I mean,
did he get left out the first game of the season?
Yeah, but that's because he came back late from a wedding in Africa or something.
But didn't the manager say that he expected him to go?
Yeah,
the president of the club said that.
Mm-hmm.
And the president of the club has said that there was 2 clubs interested, and I think he alluded to the fact that West Ham were one. So whether or not he's lying, but it makes me, this is one of those ones that you can kind of pretty much guarantee that there was more than an inquiry put in about with regards to Sima. But I wonder, he's really young. He does look good. And I got that, Pat. I got that. I know who Ben John says.
The thing is, he's not a striker. He's more of an attacking midfielder who can play up front. But I've got a theory that if we do actually go for someone like Sima, we will not buy an out-and-out striker, and Moyes will play, this false number 9 and utilize different players, rotate them as backup to Antonio.
Got Milenko. It's fine.
Well,
but still, and Matt, and to everyone in the chat, we did say a long time ago, you can't help but kind of maybe think that that's the way that Moyes is going. So we're sitting here, or a lot of the fan base are sitting here going, number 9, number 9, number 9. He's given a number 9 to Antonio, so maybe he's not looking for the number 9. Maybe he's looking for that other player. When you look at the West Ham style of play, when people talk about Tammy Abraham, I don't know how a player. I would be buzzing if we signed him because I'm just that weird West Ham fan.
I don't think we'll sign him because I don't. Think
that's the point I'm trying to make. I don't see. Yeah, but I don't see how he fits into the system because to me, Tammy Abraham's the old school centre forward. And I don't think West Ham suit an old school centre forward under Moyes.
I also think the fact that he's actually, made Antonio our number 9. I think a lot of strikers who might be interested in coming to West Ham might be thinking, well, how much game time am I actually going to get to play? Because you know that Antonio will be the number 1 pick all the time. Whenever he's fit, he'll be the number 1 pick. No player who wants to play first team football, striker, is going to accept that. So maybe someone like Moore. How old is Moore?
27.
Oh, so he's not young.
No.
Okay. Well, that throws that theory out the window.
6'5".
Yeah. Well, the Allardyce style of footballer. I just think maybe by bringing in another another attacking midfielder, he'll mix it because an attacking midfielder will know they'll get game time. They'll either replace Antonio during the game or they'll play an attacking midfield, replace Bowen, Benrahma, whoever it may be. Whereas if you buy another out-and-out striker, they're going to be sitting there waiting for to get their.
The thing is, though, is like we're going to play. I think a minimum. I think we'll hit a minimum of at least 50 games this season, and you're not going to get more than 30 games out of Antonio. You're just not like. So
you're not going to get 50 games out of Antonio. But what I mean
can see us bringing a centre forward in, but I don't think like Abraham. You're not going to bring in a big named striker
because they're going to be sitting on the bench.
Yeah. So you know what, Kiefer Moore could very well. He's 20. I think so. I said 27. I think he's 28. I just looked at Wikipedia. 28. He's never played the Premier League, but he's got a wealth of championship experience. He's 6'5", so if we're whipping balls in from the wide, which we do a lot with the fullbacks, he's going to get some headed goals. I doubt he's going to be a lot of money playing for Cardiff.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what, there could be legs to it.
There could be legs to it, but could it be another Hugo?
I want to just read you.
Hugo wasn't even big, was it? That was the thing. He was like 5 foot something, wasn't he?
I want to read you a statement. A statement which actually came from Slavia Prague's manager. He was stating that Sima and this. Hold on a minute here. What's the player called? Let me see where his name is. Oh my God. And Peter Olijinka could leave, so you have to prepare for that eventuality. We spoke to West Ham, and they told us they put Sima very high on the list of their possible reinforcements. That came from the manager's quotation. That's what he said. So I
think Sima. Let's have a look at this. Kiefer Moore's defensive play fits Moyes' style. He's goal scoring cover up. His brilliant defensive play. Well, fair play.
We actually did a show on Kiefer Moore as well. I don't know if you know. If you don't know, if you know that we did one on him.
Really?
Kiefer Moore? I can't remember.
Yeah, because myself and Jake done the daily, and I did one on the Swedish forward, and he did one on Kiefer Moore. So yeah.
I just think what we're saying is more. I just can't see us going out, and I can't see him going out and buying an out-and-out striker, because I just think
I can see it, but not a first choice.
Well, not a first choice. But will Kiefer Moore be happy to come to West Ham and bench it? Well, maybe. Premier League, maybe. Yeah.
He's in the Championship, so you could give him 40 grand a week, and it'd be like double. Probably. I'm not going to go for definite. I need to do some quick looking, but I guarantee, as a high-end Championship players will be on a maximum of 30 grand a week, because that is a significant budget. Championship clubs get about 12 million a year. So if you're on 30 grand a week, that's a couple of million. That's like 25% of your budget gone on one player. So he's probably on about 20 grand a week. So do you want to go into West Ham, be the number 2? You'll be the first backup option.
It's going to be
4 competitions. You're playing. You're going to play
typical. It'll be a typical Moyes signing, won't it? it'll be so uninspiring, and yet Moyes might actually.
If you
prove
bring
us
in the
wrong
two
again.
centre backs and then you bring him in and you put in Areola, the thing is the centre backs and the goalkeeper the centre backs we could potentially bring in, and the goalkeeper we brought in are actual first choice. They're going to compete and be first choice. Whereas I just don't think at the moment the way Moyes plays one up front, you're going to get someone to come in as a number two.
That means
especially like Tammy Abraham.
We've
You're
still
not
got to buy.
Crank 30 million on Abraham and give him 140 grand a week.
Yeah, which won't happen. I agree with you, but that does mean then we are still going to be looking for an attacking midfielder.
What about that?
It could be. Well, you see, this is the other thing. It goes back to buying a striker who will want to start, want to be a starter. So I think I can then see maybe someone like Kiefer Moore coming in, and then perhaps holding out for a Lingard.
So
if that doesn't happen, then maybe Seema, getting that attacking midfielder, so you do have the depth to be able to mix it around. That might be, and Kiefer Moore, I don't know what he'd be worth. What sort of value would
I mean,
be?
Brownie's put in there 15 million, which makes me think we will not be signing him.
That is not going to happen.
15 mil.
No.
Yeah. Not happening at all.
10.
Anyway, if you're
10
no, I
maybe.
don't even think I'd pay that, mate. I think I would rather take a player like Seema, to be honest. I know he's not proven, but he's young.
Why not both?
Why
not a backup like
Apparently,
Kiefer Moore?
from what the quick look I just done there, Kiefer Moore's on like $6 grand a week.
Right. So you even give him 20 grand a week. And
if you give him 30, said you could be your 30 grand a week and you're the backup striker.
But listen, we could be sitting here talking about a player that's not even bloody well linked to the club. So let's move on.
Well, you know, we're being led here by Brownie. So
We're just talking on the rumours that are around,
Yeah.
Just what journalists get paid to do.
See, that's what a lot of fans will think. Moore would be a pathetic signing when the Europa League, not the Championship. A lot of fans will be very underwhelmed, but then we're a lot of us.
But then again, there's
underwhelmed
people
with,
calling out
Dawson.
for like Armstrong, and he scored 6 goals less than Armstrong last season.
But Armstrong's still only 24, 25?
Yeah, but they're saying he's going to go for 20 plus million.
He's in his last year of his contract. He's in his last year.
Let's not forget though. Let's name the following players. We've got Antonio. We've got Bowen. We've got Benrahma. We've got Yarmolenko. We've got players that can get forward.
The only way I could see it working, like you said, if you buy someone like a Simmer, who I believe doesn't he normally play like wide of the front three?
Mm-hmm.
So, like you said, but that's the only way I could see it work, because you said about Benrahma and Bowen. Well, they're pretty much going to start on the wing every game. You need fresh legs up front. You can't be saying, I'm going to take Antonio off and Bowen, you've got to go up front now. You just spent 70 minutes running up and down the wing.
But I think that's the sort of thing he will be doing.
You know what? I wouldn't even be bothered. At this point, we need a centre forward. So if Kiefer Moore comes in...
Yeah, but Matt, this is the key point. This is the key thing. This is what the fans are saying. At this point, we need a centre forward. That's not the way that Moyes is thinking. The Moyes is thinking about it's not quantity, it's quality for him.
Yeah.
Oh, where's Matt gone?
There's Matt gone.
But it's true though. It's a true point, but it is a true point, because when you do have situations like that, people then start to go, at this point, I'll take anyone. A little bit like the conversation about the board, when people talk about the board, like I'll take anyone. Well, no, I'm not Matt, and I know I'm not saying that's what you're saying, but that comment, is actually true. Like Moyes won't do that. Moyes won't bring in a striker just for the sake of it. And if he does, I'd be surprised. I'd be heavily surprised.
The problem is you've got to find a balance, because I know his mantra, and he's right. His mantra's been, I only bring in players that will improve the first team. So the goalkeeper improves the situation. Milenkovic, if he comes in, or Kalashnikov, whichever one of them comes in, will improve on our centre backs.
If Milenkovic and Kalashnikov comes in, I will start believing we're going to get Seema and Lionel Messi. Origi. What about Origi? I think it's time. I like Origi, and I think it's time he started to get out of the shadows of Liverpool
100%.
and doing what he knows he can do.
But again, is he going to come to be number 2 to Antonio?
Yeah, but he's not an out-and-out striker either.
No.
Origi also plays off a striker, but he can play up front. And
his contract ends next summer.
Right.
So Liverpool will be either now looking at trying to generate some form of income for him. People are saying Origi has been sold. No, he's not. No,
I don't think it's been sold. Not yet. Kimbo, of the three, asking all three of us, who would be your first signing with our budget? Milenkovic.
I'm gonna take Lingard out of the equation because that's who I'm gonna say most of the time. So I will take him out of the equation. But who would I sign? Who's our first signing? I don't know how many years I've harped on about our defence. And if Moyes has got the balls, then I would take two centre halves and one more kind of forward, like a Sima or something like that. And I'd be happy. But if he had the balls to go and build that defence, by one more attacking player to give us something, bed in some youth, I would absolutely snap the hands off it. So I've not answered your question, so I'll say Milenkovic like still, but I would take Milenkovic, Kaleta and a forward.
Matt?
I'd do the same. I think centre midfield, the way things worked out, we're fine with. I think bringing both the centre backs and then bringing in a striker. You know, we've only spent £1 million of this. I don't know what the budget is anymore. It started out at 50, then it went to 80, then it went to nothing. We've got some sort of budget this summer. We've only spent £1 million, right? And the two transfers, if we brought in both of them, they're saying somewhere between 15 to 20 million euro for both of them. Each player, the centre backs. So
that's like a bit like the kind of Soucek deal and the Bowen deal. It's like players, you know, they're not overpriced. They're you know, you're talking about like 19 million euros, which equates to 16 million quid. Is that
17 million quid
for potentially again, both of these players? And the Kaleta card deal was the one where it's adding in potential, you know, extras. So it's like £12 million up front, and then there's extras here, there, and everywhere.
Then,
so
it's not up front, is it? No one does up front anymore.
No one does up front anyway. Yeah.
So even if it is, like, say both the deals were 14 million plus 3 million and 3.5 million add-ons, right? 40 million each. They're both signed a 4-year contract, so you'll get 14 million over 4 years.
Yeah.
So you're talking 3 and a bit million each
year. Yeah.
So
7 million for each one.
You're talking that's only £8 million budget spent, and you've brought in a goalkeeper and 2 centre backs. So we've got 40 million to spend to bring in a centre forward.
A lot of people do talk about though, like, our centre forward's gone, centre forward's gone. But then you bring up players like Origi, he's 26, and young. Liverpool are going to get rid. Like, it's pretty obvious that they're going to get rid of him this year
but they'll ask for silly money for him.
Well, I've just had a look there at reports, and I think they're going to try and get up something like 20 for him if they can.
I know a lot of people won't find this popular, but I'd pay 20 million for Origi, and I think he'll do well for us. And I know
I'd rather pay it for Armstrong. I'd rather pay 20 million for Armstrong than Origi.
I won't lie to you, mate. I've said I think Armstrong would be a perfect fit for West Ham. I've said it quite some time.
The only thing I think with Origi is that he doesn't have. I think someone up in the chat said it a little while further up. Is that the reason he doesn't get the playing time at Liverpool is that he doesn't put in the work. You know, if you look at their front three, you say what you want about the fact that Firmino doesn't score a lot of goals. He does a lot of the dirty work that, you know, and that's why they've looked at Bowen. Because he will do the same as they brought in Jota. Whenever they paid 40 million for Jota, Origi don't do it. That's why he sits on the bench.
Do you think Origi, when he comes in, he knows that it doesn't matter how good he plays, he won't start the next game?
Interesting.
You know, I think that might be the thing with Origi. He just won't. He knows he won't start, no matter how good he plays. He knows that those 3 front players are always going to be ahead of him. You know, whereas at West Ham, you know, he knows he's got a damn good chance. He'll be as good as he can be, as good as any of the players that we've got.
Ego standpoint, though, you've won a Premier League and a Champions League. I'm not stepping down from a Premier League, Champions League winner to go to a 6th place team on. Oh, you might if you put the effort in. Start. I'd only be dropping that far down if I'm starting. Because if I put the effort, I might start. You might as well go to I wouldn't say Leicester, but they've got centre forwards now.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm going to bring up a player, and fair play to you, Dalek, for bringing him up, but it's a good shout. What about Josh Maja?
He looks all right at Fulham last season.
He really did. I know we've been linked to him in the past. He only went there on loan. I didn't realise. I actually thought they may have snapped him up, but they didn't. He only went on loan, so he's gone back to Bordeaux.
They had a lot of players on loan. That's what I said, didn't they?
Yeah.
Because they had the
and
Anderson, who's gone to Palace now.
And he has been a Moyes player in the past. I can't remember for which team. Sunderland.
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. I mean, I know people are in there going yes, no, whatever, but
again, like that's the sort of
good shout.
Good shout. That's one that.
What about this?
Listen,
comment?
lads, I'm going to love yous and leave yous.
Well, no, you're not.
Yeah, I am, because this is why
we've got stuff to do.
We've got to do.
That's why
Matt, put your hand up. Matt, put your hand up, mate. Tag me, please.
Oh, it's this side.
This side. This is exactly what Anton does, people. Remember this day. You know, he goes, "Shall we do a show? Shall we do a show? Late show, etc." And then he bows out.
Matt, how many shows have I done today, Matt?
Doesn't matter, mate.
3.
Three.
Yeah.
3.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you know, if you're going to go, you just, you know, if you want people, fair enough, mate. You've done it in front of 168 people. Now they know.
Just stir it.
Before I go, if you are watching, please
go. Just go. No point you carrying on.
Please hit the thumbs up
button.
Yeah, please do it, because I'll tell you what we're at just now before I go, and then I'm going to give you another. Hammerwell says Anton's going to warm the bed for Stell. 107 likes. That is, I mean, we've got over 160 people watching. Hold on a minute. His Royal Highness James Fever is in the house. HRH James Fever. Take a bow, sir. Hope you're well. Go and get your cup of tea. Enjoy yourself. Hope Windsor's treating you well.
Well, you know, I'm glad, you know, if you've only just joined, James, we've just said we don't need a striker. And so there you go.
Listen, 107 likes, so please give us a thumbs up, and I'll let you carry on with the rest of the show. But before I go, Matt, you've got some news on the Newcastle news.
Oh yeah, so the rumour flying around there was that
I'll obviously be doing the preview next week anyway.
Maxim and Callum Wilson are not going to be fit.
Good.
Neither of them have. I know this is a Newcastle one, but the Maxim one's weird because he played the first 2 games of their pre-season, and then he's got this mystery illness,
right?
And he hasn't played since, and
so he's going somewhere. He's off somewhere.
They say he's got his mystery illness. He's not fit to play. Callum Wilson picked up a hamstring injury in pre-season.
Good. Don't like
and neither
him anyway.
of them. They're playing Norwich tomorrow in a friendly.
And we'll be seeing
neither
Maxim,
of them have trained or are playing.
And we'll be seeing Maxim having a medical at West Ham on Tuesday afternoon then.
Oh, mate, could you imagine? You know what? He's a guy I'd love, but you just got no chance.
No, I agree. Let's look at some comments. I'll tell you what, before we look at some comments, what do you think of this player? Because there's another one that was linked to us today. He's titled The New Kaká, Igor Gomez. Have you heard of him?
I'll be honest, I heard of him about 3 days ago when I read the rumour about him.
Mm-hmm.
Before that,
another
absolutely not.
Go on, sorry.
I said before that, absolutely not. But it sounds like he plays for Sao Paulo, doesn't he?
That's right. He plays
and it sounds like they're desperate for money, because 3 days ago it was 12 million quid and now it's 7.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Another attacking midfielder.
For 7 million quid,
it's worth a punt.
Yeah, we had that Nick on, the Atlanta fan, and he was saying, I don't know if you saw it, that they've had this sort of ethos in their club recently where they bring through academy players, make massive sales of players that barely play any games, and then they use that to buy in prospects from elsewhere. He said a lot of Italian teams obviously raid the South American market, and you don't pay a lot of money, even for like the good players. So you know what? If 7 million, I think what we paid like 12 million for Lanzini, we bought him from Dubai.
Yeah, it's a risk worth taking, isn't it?
7 million, you'll get the money back. You'll sell him for that. You'll sell him to Italy or Spain for that much.
For 20 million, yeah.
Let's
have a look at some comments. Chris Harris, I think a lot of this depends on whether Moyes sees Bowen as a viable replacement for Antonio up front when he's injured. Do you think that's what Moyes is thinking that he's going to do?
If he does, he needs to bring in a winger.
which is why I keep thinking that we're going to have another attacking midfielder come in, someone like Seema, or another winger, so that Moyes can utilise the likes of Bowen, etc. up front.
Who was the guy we was linked with last season, all the way through the summer? It was like a Josh King. We didn't want him, but someone that could play all across the front line.
There's been several players like that, mate.
No, but I think it was Josh King we're talking about at the time. But that's the sort of player Moyes wants.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we get linked with like Simmer, because he can play across the front line.
In that sort of style.
That's why we got linked with Lingard. It was because he played the three behind the centre forward.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that might be the way he goes rather than getting another striker? Because there is going to be this problem, as you said. There's going to be this problem where you get an out-and-out striker in, he's going to be a named striker, and he's going to want to start first-team football. Whereas if you get maybe someone like Moore from the Championship, who might be happy to bench it, or then the third option is just fill the squad with a look how well we did last season. We had players scoring. Quite a lot of our midfielders were scoring goals, and maybe that's what Moyes wants to do. Maybe he doesn't want to.
Which then again would lead me on to why you'd probably get someone like Kiefer Moore in.
Yeah,
because if he's 6'5" and he does the dirty work, he does the running.
He'd be a very much Moyes style of player, wouldn't he?
Because you're not expecting him to get the goals. You're holding up the ball to bring in the three attacking fielders behind you.
Good point. What about this comment? Wanting Benrahma to play more attacking midfield?
I did see a rumour about that apparently the players have been saying this in training.
That's right, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that with Lingard not here and probably not... Well, what was Sky's awful bit of journalism the other day? He's got a 10% chance.
Yeah, which means
just plucked a number out of the air. I will say 10%. But with Lingard gone, I think the way Benrahma's played in pre-season, I think he should be stepping up into that role, the number 10 playing across the pitch. He's got the ability to do it, and it lets him drift and makes him hard to mark.
Soucek, another player that everyone wants to bring in, young talented Czech football.
That one I could see, because he's a young player, so he's got time to progress. So you're not bringing him in to go straight. So you can play him as behind, Antonio starts one game and he might start the cup games, and you give him time to develop. That I could see.
At the age of 20, I mean, I know he's only just signed an extended contract at the club that he's at his current club, but that sometimes doesn't really make
contracts don't mean anything anymore. It's just negotiating them on the table.
I was just about to say that could be a way of just getting a bigger price for him. Yeah, agreed. There's a comment here. Another link is Dan Zuma from Bournemouth.
Bournemouth played tonight. I don't know if he played.
I don't know if he did either, but
I did have it on in the background
the other day. Sorry, mate.
I did have it on in the background when we was doing the preview earlier. I didn't see if he played or not though.
But he hasn't had. I mean, his first season at Bournemouth wasn't necessarily any good. It's only really last season where he's been playing in the Championship that he's really hit form. But 24 years of age, yet another attacking midfielder rather than out and out striker. But 17 goals, 8 assists
last season.
52 appearances in total for Bournemouth.
I think the problem is he's going to be. I think they wanted a lot of money for him.
Right.
From what I'm sure someone bid recently for him, and they just was like, the offer was embarrassing. They were like, "That's just awful offer." I've got it here. Where we got? Trying to see if it actually quotes what they offered. It doesn't. Although, I mean, there is talks that Liverpool could be looking at him. Really? As a cheap alternative to Bowen.
Well, Bowen's not going anywhere. We know that. So, all these rumours about our players going, we need players. We don't want to be selling any players.
But I did see they wanted like 25-30 million for him. We ain't going to pay that.
No, I agree. James Benrahma this time this year, he's going to have his chance now. Been doing a stream with Steve. Yeah, I think I think Benrahma. If we don't get Lingard in, Benrahma's going to become the main player, isn't he, for West Ham this season?
I think he'll be given the position to do it. Like I generally think, and we said this at early points last season, that he looked better playing in the number 10. And that was in the first half of the season. And then Lingard came in, and it was just, don't forget, for a lot of the back end of the season, he was literally benched for Lingard.
Yeah, he was. Let's see what else we've got here. We're down to I think we're down to nearly the bottom of the comments. Yeah, we are. What else have we got? Chris, isn't it strange that that we thought we'd be happy with a championship? Isn't it strange though that we'd be happy with a championship attacking midfielder, but not happy with a championship striker?
Yep,
that's a good point. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. It's really weird. I won't lie. I haven't really sort of paid much attention to Moore, so I don't really know much.
That's why I had to quickly look up about him. What I would say though, as you said earlier about Hugill, don't forget when we signed Hugill, he literally scored like 20 goals in like 90 something championship. He scored like an average of like 6 goals a season when we brought him in from Preston. He wasn't even an out-and-out goal scorer. So at least Kiefer Moore was scoring goals. Didn't do badly at the Euros for Wales.
I don't know. Good evening, Dave. How are you, mate? I think there's no other comments. Well, there are loads of other comments, but any last thoughts before we go for the night?
Someone said about Dia, but I'm almost certain. Didn't he go to like Valencia?
Who are you talking about?
That Dia, the guy who was in the French league, the centre forward, who was linked to in January.
Yeah, that was never really a proper link, was it? To be honest with you, another story that sort of went nowhere. James, we need a striker. Kiefer Moore is good, but not the answer. But see, this is the thing that we've been talking about tonight, James. We've been talking about, in all seriousness, we as fans think we say we need a striker, but that's not necessarily the way David Moyes is thinking about his team, is it? And I just wonder if Moyes is going to fill out if you remember what happened in the transfer window in the winter, we were all shouting out to have a striker in, and he brought Lingard in, and everybody was in uproar. Oh my God, what the hell is he doing, etc., etc. And as Anton pointed out, you wouldn't have got that many strikers coming in for half a season and scoring 9 goals for half a season, know. And I just wonder if that is the way. I just wonder if that is the way. Thank you, Toby. Yeah. I just wonder if that is the way that Moyes is going to want to go. Not another striker, and just have a player that can fill in that role rather than being an out-and-out striker. I know that's risky, but we're trying to think about the way.
He's either got to do one or two things. He's either got to bring in a proper second, like a proper number 2 striker. In which case, you're looking at someone like it could, Kiefer Moore could be one of them. 4th highest scorer in the championship, or 5th highest scorer in the championship last season. Only one that's still in there. The rest of them are, I think, it's 4th highest. The other 3 are playing in the chat. Going to be or are going to be playing in the Premier League this season. Or he has to bring in someone that competes for first team that can play across the 3.
Mm-hmm. Good evening to you, Jan. Thank you for joining us. West Ham must buy 2 centre backs.
Sullivan's had a heart attack.
2 centre backs, 2 centre midfielders, 1 striker, and 1 winger. No chance.
Sullivan had a heart attack then.
But we've been talking about 2 centre backs tonight. All this talk about Milenkovic, and then Kaleta. I said
2 centre backs. You know what? He wouldn't. You know what? Bold statement. He gets both the centre backs done. That frigging Kiefer Moore does sign on Wednesday. Does round the other medical.
And then he waits on Lingard at the end of the
waits on Lingard for the end of the window.
For the end of the window, sorry, yeah.
Because he doesn't get the playing time he wants.
Would that be a successful transfer window? Areola, 2 young centre-backs, Lingard, and a championship striker. Would that be a successful?
Yeah.
Do you reckon?
You're getting 2 first-choice international centre-backs, both under the age of 25, that can literally be your main centre-backs for the next 6, 7, 8 years. You've got a goalkeeper that'll be your number 1 goalkeeper for the next 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
Goalkeepers play to late 30s. The centre forward option is one that you're going to struggle with anyway.
I'd be disappointed.
You're not going to get in. You don't get value for money in Abraham. I'm sorry, you don't. 30 million and 140 grand a week. You don't get it.
No, I don't think we're going to sign.
You don't really get value for money Abraham. For an Armstrong that's got 1 year left on his contract, paying 20 million. But Villa just paid 25 million for Danny Ings a year left on his contract, so it pushes the thing up.
Mm-hmm.
Unless, even Simar, they're talking 20 plus million now. I think the same for Soucek. You're not going to get value for money to bring in a number 2 striker.
No.
So if you want value for money, you've got to bring in, and he does the defensive work. He can hold the ball up, and he scores goals.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming the most of them are tap-ins or headers. But
what if Moore came in and scored 10 headers in the season?
Wouldn't bother me in the slightest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mate, you know what? If he comes in and scores 1 goal, he's done more than Hugo did.
Good evening, Mark. Canterbury, 34 degrees in southern Ontario. Oh, thanks, Mark.
And exactly this point as well. Here.
Antonio could get injured any game. We know. And probably
any
Newcastle
time
game.
He get injured.
He should always be coming off the bench. Yeah. Cyber, you've been saying you're tired. You don't have to actually stay until the moment we
don't feel compelled. You can go.
Don't feel compelled, mate. Phil Jones, I think isn't gonna, especially when we're talking about exciting centre backs like Milenkovic and Kaleta. Phil Jones is not going to happen.
You know what? I don't often read them, but I do read this trash newspaper just because their football articles are hilarious. I was reading The Sun yesterday. Right? I only read the sports articles and they're fucking hilarious. They write so much crap in him, it's untrue. But they literally called him unsellable, Phil Jones. They were like, he's got 2 years left on his contract. I think 2019 his contract was up and they renewed his contract, could let him go for free. That was when they renewed it, and then 2 weeks later tried to palm him off on us for 25 million plus in the deal. He's on 120 grand a week.
Which is why we're not going to get him.
And he hasn't played a single minute of football in 18 months.
Yeah, which is why he's not coming.
No. They've got to pay him off like frigging 15 million to get him to leave. He's on 120. He's on almost $500,000 a month. You know, he's got 12 million sitting in the bank for the next 2 years.
Agreed. Let's finish off. Any other comments before we go? Oh, someone did ask, and sorry, I missed the comment. Your team for tomorrow. Who do you reckon is going to start for West Ham tomorrow?
We did this earlier. Milan said it's probably going to be the closest you'll get to the Newcastle game. Because the week before, I said I think Areola will start. I think he's number 1.
I agree. Yeah.
I think Soufal will start. I don't think Ogbonna's going to be risked. I don't think you need to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you'll get Dawson and Diop and Creswell. Bowen and Fornal on the wings. Benrahma in behind Antonio. And then I said Soucek and Coventry.
Yeah, Declan won't start. There you go, people. This is proof that Anton is still awake. He just didn't want to bother with any of you lot. You know, that is actual proof that he is still around, but he can't be asked to come on and do a show. So if you want any more evidence, there it is in black and white. Yeah,
I said Coventry. Anton said Lanzini.
I think maybe Lanzini. I think I'll go with a lot of what you said. I think Areola will start. I think he's more or less said that Areola will start. Areola will start. Soufal, Dawson, Diop, Creswell, Soucek. I think Lanzini. I can see that happening. Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals, and Antonio. I think that'll be the team.
I think Fornals will go on the wing. I think Benrahma will play in the number 10.
Possibly, yeah.
And I think you could see
Fornals
Masuaku
can provide more cover on the left side.
I think you see Masuaku in the second half.
Areola, Creswell, Diop, Dawson, Soufal, Soucek, Lanzini, Bowen, Benrahma, Fornals. Yep, same.
I could see Masuaku coming on. I said for Creswell, but actually I think he might.
Sorry. I didn't hear that. What was that you said?
Masuaku, your favorite
sorry,
player.
I'm sorry that you've got. There's something I can't. There's something going wrong. I think your microphone's not working properly, mate. I'm sure you said something really quite.
Because we need cover.
Well, you take cover when Masuaku's on the bloody pitch.
I think no. I said I think he's going to come on in the second half for Fornals.
Yeah.
Because we've seen him try it with Johnson further forward. I think Moyes might want to have a look. That or we go to 5 at the back and he plays left back for a bit.
Yeah, he will want to give Masuaku game time. God knows why. But he will want to give Masuaku game time. So I can see that happening at some stage. Right. Okay, people. That's it. Who's going to the game tomorrow? Is anyone going to the are you going? Oh no, you're not well, are you?
Well, I'm still debating it. I text my dad.
Still get a ticket.
I know I text my dad, said, are we going or not? And he hasn't texted me back yet. So
Bobby Moore lower on the well, you know where we are.
Yeah.
Bobby Moore lower. So if you fancy it, then come down. We're going to go to the Grove beforehand for a few drinks because I think that's where most people are meeting. Unfortunately, the supporters club it's open, but it's not as the supporters club tomorrow. It's just a normal bar. The supporters club will be just a normal bar. Supporters club, sorry, will start again at the Leicester game, our first home game. So do join us. We'll be at the Grove before the game. Come and say hello, etc. And we look forward to seeing you then. If you're coming, Matt, let us know. Message me, and we'll meet up, mate. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Any last comments? Any streams? Don't know, mate. Anton's going to be doing the watch along or Bayern's Lonesome. James, get a ticket. Go on. I've got a spare one if you want to go.
I think it is actually, isn't it? I did read this, that we haven't actually sold it out. The Newcastle
it's on ballot. It's on ballot. The Grove is as you come out of Stratford Station at the front side, not the exit going towards the stadium, but at the front, and you go left. And I ain't got a clue what that road is, but it's right at the top of that road. The Golden Grove will be there from 1 o'clock. That's it. Anything else before we go?
No. Let's go because we're just talking around in circles otherwise.
Thank you all for joining us. Matt has been a far better person on this show than Anton ever could be. Anton has proven to you that he couldn't give a stuff about you all because he left halfway through the show. So I'd like you all to make him aware of that next time you see him on the channel. Have a good evening, everyone. What's left to it? It is now 1:30 in the morning, and we'll see you all very soon.